kind of like, I didn't want to accept it. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like, why I got to deal with this? You get what I'm saying? Like, why I got to have this affliction? Why I can't be straight? Why I got to have a mental health problem? Like, why I can't drink lean? Really, like, why I can't drink lean and smoke like everybody else? Why if I drink the lean and smoke, I got to be in the mental hospital? That's how I used to feel.
And it felt like the people at the label didn't look at you as a human being. Like you were just an artist. Because you said after you got the ice cream cone tattoo, one of them called you and said, "Man, you a genius."
They did.
Yeah.
And you was like, "Bro, I'm going through stuff."
I was going through. I'm like, damn. I never thought that like when it went viral back then and just everybody was talking about it. It didn't like this was not my intention. I was not doing that. It definitely was like a cry for help.
Yes, my people. So we got Gucci Mane and his missus opening up about schizophrenia, controlling mental health episodes. Now, this is a very, very powerful interview being done by Gucci Mane simply because he's one of the GOATs when it comes to hip hop, number one. And number two, he's discussing something that a lot of people, whether you're creative or you're not, are going through and they're not really comfortable in terms of just speaking about, etc. So I really want to understand how he is right now. I also want to understand how he's been able to deal with some of the mental health issues that he's been facing as well. And it'll be very enlightening hearing it from a hip hop legend. Let's go.
Boom, now my mind can't take it.
And so what gets there now? Because you said sometimes now you look at him and say, I can see an episode coming there. Is it stress now? Because, I mean, the craziest, the best thing I heard about Gucci, that I was like, damn, I'm like Gucci. It was like, Gucci go to sleep at 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock, he tired.
Yeah.
9 o'clock, I'd be like, kids, it's time to go to sleep. I'd be tired too.
Yeah.
But what gets you to that episode now?
When I had the episode in 2019, 2020,
COVID.
it was COVID. That really just messed me up. And then another thing what triggered the episode was I got my teeth done and they put me under anesthesia and the drugs messed me up when I came from under anesthesia. I was having an episode, flipping out. And I was like, damn, I ain't even doing, I could understand that. You know what I'm saying? So even if I go, it's like, damn, I never thought that would be a trigger, but that was a trigger. So it could be a multitude of things.
Gotcha.
But it's interesting though, because when I read the book, I feel like you always had a level of self-awareness. Like even when you talk about going to get the ice cream cone tattoo on your.
And before they even go into the ice cream cone tattoo, I feel as if though a lot of people don't really talk about the fact that absolutely anything can lead towards things like mental health at the end of the day. It is a topic that isn't discussed enough simply because a lot of people want to shy away from it. And like I've said in previous videos as well, it's something that I just generally didn't believe it existed until I even had to deal with my own health until I had to even deal with some of my own mental health kind of things as well. So it's one of those ones where you got to really understand and actually breed more awareness in regards to it. In fact, I have a video coming out talking about black men in particular and the correlation between black men and the lack of mental health awareness for us. Simply being is because, men just in general, you have to be masculine. That's just how the world basically says and actually dictates men need to be. Now, when you now look at black men due to media and just history, etc., it's almost as if though, let's say if men have to be masculine like this, for some reason, black men have to be hyper masculine. Whether it's through, how hip hop basically portrays things, whether it's through what is fetishized, whatever it basically is. And it's something that has broken a lot of people in history and it's something that doesn't get talked about enough. So the fact that, again, like I said, we got a legend basically coming onto the platform and talking about it is very, very, very powerful because at the end of the day, I can only imagine how many people are going through their own, episodes or they're going through their own mental health, seasons within life. Because at the end of the day, everyone has highs and everyone also has lows. It's something that needs to get brought to attention and also solutions, right? People that have gone through it and have actually I've actually experienced what it is to be, within the season of their life. Having them talk about what they've gone through and what they've done to actually overcome it as well is extremely powerful. And I believe that the more that we have solutions as well can lead towards more people actually being able to deal with this very, very efficiently. So let's carry on, man.
You said it was a cry for help.
It was.
Why you felt like nobody heard you? Like even when you were doing all that, why you think nobody heard you?
Everybody thought it was like a marketing campaign. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, like, I remember like it was like I had went to court. They told me I had to go to a mental hospital to because I tried to say trying to tell them listen, some of the stuff I'm doing, I'm not in my right mind when I'm doing it. And they sent me to a mental hospital and then it went on the media. And I just remember when they started saying I got to go to a mental hospital, the embarrassment I felt. And then it's like, maybe it wasn't even 4 days later, that's when I got the ice cream cone tattoo. So it was almost like a cry for help. You see?
And the issue of media, right, it's one of those ones where as soon as something happens, we always have blog pages and all of these different outlets basically talking about it and talking about it, not just to shed awareness, it's more so just for the clicks because they understand that negativity basically sells and things like that. So it's very, very hard, man, especially for people that are famous and are in the spotlight. Like whenever I even speak to some of my influencer friends, for example, they talk to me whenever, like, for example, I'm recording them, right, as an engineer or producer. They talk to me about sometimes like they really be going through it, and then if they post anything on social media, in reality, people are gonna clown them. Do you know what I mean? And I can only imagine, let's say, for example, when some of my posts go, viral on TikTok, I've only been viral like maybe like 3 times, right? But the amount of messages I was getting, obviously it was a positive message, right? So the amount of messages I was getting was overwhelming. So I can only imagine, let's say if you go viral for something negative, and the amount of messages you're getting and what you have to see, etc. That's the reason why I understand why people literally take some time off of their phone. They hire like social media managers, etc. So this is something that let's be real, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. We're always going to get social media outlets and media outlets that basically pry on negativity and are always going to push that type of message. But what needs to increase, in my opinion, is the awareness around it and actually platforms that actually discuss the fact that this is actually a serious issue. Giving people, men overall, black men as well, platforms to basically go and vent and actually say, look, this is what I'm dealing with, this is what I'm going through, and have a shoulder to basically lean on, because the amount of people that are going through things and the amount of people that even tell me like they're going through it is very, very surprising. And some of the strongest people as well. To some people, for example, they might watch this video that know me in real life, right? Might watch this video and be like, what? Like you went through a mental health episode, etc. I wouldn't necessarily say that I faced depression. That's just not what I did. But I was depressed, severely depressed at a point in my life, like 2 or 3 times within my life, right? Recently. So in saying this, it gets overlooked, especially from people that are perceived to be, the strong person, etc. So the more that we're honest about this, the better. I'm not gonna lie.
You know what I'm saying? I can't explain it. It's hard for me to put it in words. You know what I'm saying?
Him being Gucci Man without me, no one helped him because he's the artist. No one is gonna say, Gucci, you're not well. Gucci, you need medicine. They just keep on giving him the weed, giving him the drugs, and he keep on keeping on.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. A lot of artists and a lot of creatives, they might not like me saying this, but then a lot of the, the drugs and, the smoking, etc., it doesn't help. It doesn't help, especially when you're dealing with like a mental, etc. Because I've had conversations with a lot of people, and again, I can only speak from outside looking in, right? I've never like actually smoked myself or like drank, etc. It's just not something that I really resonate with. But for example, I've had like secondhand highs, etc. So I understand like the feeling a bit, but obviously I can't really talk on the subject entirely. But from an outside perspective looking in, when I've had conversations with people that are on that, in reality, it's more times than not that a lot of them that smoke religiously or they drink certain things or they have vices, right? They always talk about the fact that they wish they never started and they wish they could actually quit from the thing, because in the beginning, it's like, it's that release. It's just like any vice, you know what I mean? For some people, it's ladies. For some people, it's alcohol. For some people, it's, drinking lean. For some people, it's like smoking, whatever it is, right? It starts off as an escape. Like, okay, cool, life is hard. I'm going through this stress, etc. This is my escape. This is how I'm going to be able to get away from it and do my thing. All of a sudden, that escape eventually takes captivity of your mind. And guess what is going to end up happening? You build a tolerance and a reliance on it. Once you build that reliance on it, all of a sudden you start either facing withdrawals or you go down a very, very dark path, man. And I've seen people in real time change from who they were into who they are right now because of those vices as well. Do you know what I mean? So that's another thing that, again, gets celebrated within the culture and within the lifestyle that in reality is killing a lot of people, man. Really. Do you get what I'm saying?
So that was the problem. No one took the time to like, damn, dog, something is really wrong with you.
Yeah.
That's how I came in after all of that. Like, you need help. Let's fix
And I'm
this.
telling, back then I used to be like, ain't nothing wrong with me. And they kind of like, when I'm saying nothing wrong with me, give me the weed.
And also, shout out to his missus, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, the fact that his wife stood beside him through all of that type of things, etc. In reality, That's what's supposed to happen. When you're married, you're supposed to have each other's back through the thick and through the thin. Even when you're doing the wedding vows, for example, through better and for worse. But let's be real. In today's society, a lot of people don't really treasure that. Let's be very, very real. There's a lot of people that will be going through these type of episodes, and that will be the moment I'm pointing that either the husband will leave or the wife will leave, or maybe they stay, but they're not the best help, and they actually don't offer some sort of confidence. You know what I mean? Or even if they offer the confidence, all of a sudden you'll end up having that business and that private matter being spread through their friends, etc., which is another shame. Do you get it? But shout out to her for real, man.
They like going with that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because I'm like, somebody put something in my drink or something, like, it's an excuse instead of just saying, okay, no matter, I got a problem, I need to fix it. It's almost like, I shouldn't have this problem. Why me type shit? That's how I feel. Like, why? Don't nobody else got to deal with this but me. So I kind of like, I didn't want to accept it. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like, why I got to deal with this? You get what I'm saying? Like, why I got to have this affliction? Why I can't be straight? Why I got to have a mental health problem? Like, why I can't drink lean? Really, like, why I can't drink lean and smoke like everybody else? Why if I drink the lean and smoke, I got to be in the mental hospital? That's how I used to feel.
And it felt like the people at the label didn't look at you as a human being.
No.
Like you was just an artist to them. Because you said after you got the ice cream cone tattoo, one of them called you and said, man, you a genius.
They did.
Yeah.
And you was like, bro, I'm going through stuff.
I was going through, I'm like, damn. I never thought that it, like, when it went viral back then and just everybody was talking about it, it didn't, like, this was not my intention. I was not doing that. It definitely was like a cry for help.
And it's just the case of, like, not only labels, but just corporations just in general. Do you get what I'm saying? There's like, in certain businesses and in order for like certain businesses to thrive, is like sometimes they lose humanity when dealing with businesses that happen to be surrounded by personal brands. So what I mean by that is that, for example, let's say the relationship between a label and an artist is seen as a business to business relationship. So if you go into corporate, if you go into business, B2B relationship, that's what they call it, right? They're literally based on logic. It's based on numbers. It's based on, okay, are you making me money or not? It's based on, okay, if you're not making me money, F off, I'm going to find someone else that's going to be able to do so, etc. And that in entirety is very, very good when it comes to business progression and capitalism, etc. But when it comes to the fact that the business is now a person, right, an actual human being, a single entity that has a brand built around them, so a personal brand, that's when you start realizing that mentality can't actually, it's not right for it to be just literally pushed on every single person just like that. Because what ends up happening is that we have cases like this where he's doing a cry for help, and instead of him getting the attention that he needs, instead of what happens is that people be like, oh, that's a genius move, well done, etc. And the wrong things will be diagnosed in that certain situation. But my people, comment down below your thoughts if you agree with anything I've said, if you disagree with anything I said. Do we need more spaces for, mental health, especially for men, and also mental health, especially for Black men as well? Let me know if you resonate with anything I said. Make sure to like if you resonate with it as well, and also make sure to follow, because we're trying to grow this channel and actually create a platform where I react to different things, right? Including serious topics like this, and also maybe a bit more like hard things such as music, etc. With my people, I'll see you tomorrow.